What is final expense insurance and who needs it? We want to find out and we want to talk a little bit more about how we can get things in order and what we can do to get them in order. We'll be right back. Well, hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your trusted financial professional, your host. And I help people make and save money, and of course, in a tax free manner. But we're going to talk about something that's very important and something that's very necessary. And we'll get right into it. And if you have any questions, any comments, please make sure that you send a message out to me. Also, make sure that you connect with me because we're going to start at the top of this saying that how you can connect with me. Most people are watching in all social media outlets, but we want to make sure that you're able to connect with me by going to www.ayanna, well, no, not Ayanna Smith, Ask Ayanna. Yeah. I was so used to say my whole name. Ask Ayanna, www.askayanna.com, and you can schedule a free complimentary one-on-one so we can meet your needs and find out what you really need. Okay, so we're going to just jump right into and ask the question: what is what is final expense and who needs it? So I have a few notes here that I'm going to go over and just kind of give people that overview because you may know final expense as saying final expense. You may know it as burial insurance. You may know it as pre-need, different things of that nature. You may know it as different things, but final expense, what does that entail? What does that look like? And how will it help and service you? Who will it service? What age groups will it service? And more details about that, and we'll just get into it. But I want to jump in and say, make sure that you connect before we get started at Ask Ayanna _ Financial Pro Facebook page, Ask for Ayanna, and also subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel because there you can hit the notifications button and know when I go live or there's some information that I've uploaded and shared with the audience and with all of the www World Wide Web. Want to make sure that you subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button because we want to get the subscribers up so that we can get the messages out. All right. So let's get into it. Looking at what is final expense insurance and who needs it. So one would say final expense insurance is also known as I said, funeral insurance, burial insurance, and it's a form of whole life insurance. Meaning when we talked about what whole life insurance is, that means that is a type of style of life insurance that once the insured gets that policy on them, then it lasts until they pass away. Unlike term insurance, where term insurance lasts for a term, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, it will end thereafter, or even 30 years, it will end thereafter, some even 40, but it will end at the end of the term, and then you will have to apply for more insurance or find a way to convert some of the insurance that you have, or you'll end up paying, a lot more by the time that term is up. Okay. So with the differences, we look at it's mostly beneficial. The whole life burial insurance is mostly beneficial for our seniors. It is good for everybody because there are some companies I've worked with and put things in place from ages 0 all the way up to about 80, 85 with some carriers. And with that being said, it gives a peace of mind because it puts money right into the hands of the family in a more immediate way where you can get started with the the funeral arrangements, getting the person's body or the crematory services going and moving. And we're not trying to sound so morbid, but these are things that we do need to think about and know about, because it's not a one size fits all. It's a one size fits you, you, and you. And I always love to say that we have to have a balanced meal. We don't want all meat, all starch, all greens. We want to have a mixture so that we're able to cover comprehensively how things need to look for a family or an individual. So basically, we want to look at and looking at this information that I've gleaned from sbli.com. It pretty much shares that it's beneficial in that it's easier to get seniors approved for it, meaning that oftentimes most insurances will require health related questions to be answered and successfully, met. With this, most of the time, the guarantee insured, the burial insurance, the funeral insurance, the final expense vein and genre will offer insurance to a person, even with health concerns. And they offer that guaranteed insured or guaranteed issue insurance so that they will have something as a peace of mind in the time of need and in the time of their passing. So, I would say this, most often it requires answering only a few health related questions, but not those deep detailed questions that will really delve and dig into the medical history, full medical history, or medications and things like that, as much as it will with some of the more just higher death benefits. Because another thing that it really hits is the death benefit with the burial insurance. Most of the time they may go up to 50,000, but they usually range and start some as low as 2,000. But when we look at that, we really have to think our minds and get our minds for that 10, 15, 20, 25,000 at least, because funeral costs have gone up, crematory services have gone up, and getting something that's $2 or $3 or $4 or $5,000 may not meet the need that you have. It may give a little peace of mind, but it may not really cover that full burial need. So with that, the premiums are being paid either weekly or monthly. Most of the time, the clients that I work with, they pay their premiums monthly. So that's a monthly investment that you're going to put toward making sure that you have what you need and your family has what they need in the time of your passing. And it's designed to cover the funeral expenses, give you that embalming, memorial service, casket, things that are right there that you have to take care of right then. Because what I know, I have some friends who are funeral home owners, directors in mortuary services. Let me say that correctly, in mortuary services, and they want their money right then because that is their business. That is their profession, their livelihood, and there are things that they must do to get things moving toward what we need done in the time that our loved ones pass away and when we pass away. And so we want to make sure that things are right there up front, that the outstanding debts on some of the things we need, programs or what have you, can be taken care of the officiant's fee and all that is handled. So final expense in a nutshell. Final expense in a nutshell. Okay, final expense insurance is a type of whole life insurance, which we said it means it comes with fixed premiums. So the premiums don't go up and down and all that. They are fixed. Whatever your trusted agent will share with you, that's what they will be. It's guaranteed not to expire. So this fixed payments, guaranteed not to expire. That's the second thing. And they will be paid out according to what the company deems necessary. And also they bill some cash. And that's a good thing, some cash value over time. And then possibly, if it's enough, the insured could possibly borrow against it. But of course, I always say, unless that is something that is most definitely needed, make sure that you look at what you're doing so you won't deplete the policy and defeat the purpose of even getting it. And according, applying to for the policy is straightforward. You can apply. I can help you with getting things in order. Of course, I'm talking about it, so I know that I can help you get some things in order. We'll sit down, talk, take a little bit of information. Of course, some personal info and all that general things that you do on the application, and then look at what it would cost for you and make sure that it's fitting and suiting your needs, and we go from there. And it gives you instant peace of mind. We let you know either way, and we go from there. And of course, it's still simply put, we want to make sure that everybody has some type of coverage and do what we can to get that done. Now, it doesn't mean that, everyone will qualify instantaneously, but maybe we can walk through and see what needs to happen so that you possibly can, or find a carrier that can help you. And if not, we have other options to lead and guide you into thinking on how you need to then maybe put money away in other types of accounts to help you to get those needs met in the time of the demise of your loved one. So basically, how affordable is it? Well, premiums, of course, can vary, and it will fit. I always like to help people fit it into their budget, what they can continue to keep, maintain, and know the importance of it. It's like this. We put insurance on our phones, our cars, and all that, things that we feel are most important. And as I always ask the question, are we not more important than a phone and a car? I think the answer is yes, absolutely we are. So we want to make sure that we put that in perspective, meaning we get that in our minds that we're going to put our money where our mouth is and not always eat up all of our money, or we want to make sure that we're covered and we're good. So here's something that I got, a statistic that I got from the National Funeral Directors Association, the NFDA, and it said that the average cost of a funeral with burial is around $8,000, and the average cost for a funeral with cremation is around like $6,000. So those costs, of course, are elevating, and we have been in a time of pandemic that the costs are, well, the need is great, and therefore I can only imagine that the costs are even greater than these numbers. And it breaks down, this is just a general breakdown, saying looking at $350 for the transfer of remains, $750 for embalming, $255 for preparing the body, $2,500 for a casket. These are some low numbers because I know that there have been some numbers that have been higher and can be higher, depending on what we would want and how elaborate or lavish we want to go. $925 for using the funeral home, $340 for the hearse or the car service, $150 for the service vehicle, $175 for the printing package. And that could range. It depends on how in depth, how great and grand and beautiful you want the particular obituary and programs to be for the ceremony service. So it's just a comparison that final expense premiums, insurance premiums, are adjustable, and they allow for the cash to be used for other purposes as and when needed, with no questions asked. But as I said, you want to make sure that you pay close attention when you have that, because you don't want to deplete your death benefit. Because that's the whole purpose for having the final expense, is to have it when we need it and not to deplete it. Okay. And then, of course, we look at smaller death benefits may not be accounts for sizable savings. It won't make a whole lot, but at least they will cover some outstanding debts and cover any additional costs left over after the insured person has passed away, because things do come up and there are different things that need to be taken care of. So we want to make sure that we are focusing forward. We're thinking forward, doing forward thinking, and having this as a part of our balanced insurance and investment lineup and meal. That's why I like to say that we want to make sure that this is all in alignment and all in order, along with some of your larger policies that you may have already had for some time, some of your term policies that you may have had for some time, some of your indexed policies that you may have had for some time, even some down to some annuities that you may have had for some time. And I would say the pro in having final expense is when you have a company that you may have that will help you to plan the funeral. There's some companies out there like that. And then it's just being able to have that money that's going to issue a little faster than your traditional policies will issue, because it's time to move. When, like I said, the funeral directors don't have time to wait for money to come. They have to have it there in order to move the body and get the services moving. So in order to prevent that lag and that belaboring with the family, it will just help if we have something in place. And have some have your stuff already in order. Let's say it like that. All right. So here are some common pros of final expense insurance. Policies are widely available even to applicants with health issues. So that should be something that if you know someone that has health issues, they may have been having problems getting coverages. If they are of a certain age, they may be able to get covered without the medical exam being called for. So no medical exam. Policy premiums are fixed. Death benefit is guaranteed. The policy is guaranteed to never expire as long as the premiums are being paid. Death benefits can be used for any purpose. And here's a big thing that I often share that people aren't really, sometimes don't really realize it. Insurance benefits are not, the final expense insurances are not taxable. Well, none of insurance is taxable. If anything, you make a little interest on it depending on the company and the type of policy that you have. And then some of the common cons of final expense, we're going to give the cons. It's relatively lower in the death benefit, so you may not be able to get that high amount that you're looking for. It may not turn out to be as beneficial if the insured is younger, but if the insured is older, it could help bridge that gap and even help you to look toward the, just like you said, just getting that money there that's readily available while you're waiting for those other policies to come in and help the family out. And also you want to make sure that you don't miss payments, because if you miss a payment, it usually just terms right out and cancels. So we want to make sure, thinking about going in, you are putting something in place that you can take care of, keep it maintained, and pay for it so that it will be in order and enforced when it's needed. And then there won't be a big surprise for the family if a payment is missed and it's not spoken of. And then with final expense policy, you will probably be paying those same premiums throughout, but it's still a peace of mind. It's a safety net for you to make sure that you have things in order. So overall, when we look at that, of course, we talk about the final expense insurance policies are recommended to those who can qualify for a better option, because the premiums may be higher. It can be higher. And then also they could be higher for some than other insurance types. So it just depends. And then, of course, this holds particularly true in the case of younger people who don't need to bypass a health exam. So here's what I'm saying. If you are healthy, please, please, please don't get deterred or dissuaded by hearing about final expense. Sometimes people wait a little too late, and as they get older, they may have some health concerns. This is a way to help bridge that gap so people won't walk around without any coverages at all. But I plead and say, if you are younger and your health is good, now is the time to make sure that you have life insurance in place, because then we can look at life insurance that really is going to help to build money and build cash for you so that you will have something longevity. Most of the time I always am on my view about making sure you can build and have money and make a savings for yourself in the vehicle, through the vehicle of life insurance. And that can be done, because we can talk about that. But on this broadcast, my goal is to share with you the importance of having having the final expense life insurance, and then letting you know who needs it. So the main people that we will look at catering to with the final expense most of the time is the 45 to 50 years older and above to about 80 years old, sometimes up to 85. It depends on the company, but we target that area with this with final expense, because oftentimes people need that bridge. They need to bridge the gap, or they have had difficulty getting covered because of illnesses that have arisen, and they want to get some coverage to at least have something that their families won't have to pass around the plate and pass around the hat. So as we close, I want to encourage you to make sure that if you know of someone who may need some type of final expense, something that will help bridge that gap when the person passes away, they can get money issued a little more readily available than waiting for their other policies to come through or while their policies are waiting to be issued. um, let's talk. We need to make our appointments ASAP, because it's no time like the present to get things in order. It's we study long, study wrong. We've heard that. And waiting, time is waiting for no one. Time is fleeting, and we have to move fast, move with it, and let's get things in order today. So this is Ayanna Smith with Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And of course, I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner through the vehicle and strategies of life insurance. I am your trusted financial professional, and we can talk about ways to build your legacy, build your life, and leave a love letter that will last a lifetime to your family members, and also build funds that you can live from while you are still on earth and on this side, uh, making sure that everything is sufficient and great and good for you and your family. So let's connect, www.askayanna.com to make a complimentary appointment so that we can meet your needs and help you get to where you need to be. It's always a pleasure, always great coming to you. And looking forward to seeing those appointments and you reaching out and connecting. And then, of course, I want to say that on the local side, I am in the Tidewater area, Hampton Roads area, really dating myself saying Tidewater, but the Hampton Roads area. So those who are local, let's reach out, connect, touch, and get things in order, because we are here to serve you. This is Ayanna Smith. Have a